Hello everyone. Today I'm going to tell you about two charming raiders who bring terror to the banks of the Wild West. No one can resist their ingenuity and fearlessness, and even more so, no one can resist their beauty. The title of the movie is at the end of the clip. Here we go. From the first frames of the movie, we are introduced to Quentin Cook, who investigates a mysterious case with the help of forensics and crime scene investigation. The man claims that before him an accident, a woman just sneezed, because of which she caught her foot on the carpet and fell. Quentin is applauded, as it turns out that it was just a staging to prove the importance of forensics. Clarissa Ashe, the man's fiancée, is overjoyed at this success. Meanwhile, her father, Mr. Ashe, is giving Tyler Jackson instructions about the railroad. They absolutely have to get some land in 90 days or the company will go to another bank for financing. Tyler promises that the problem will be fixed. Meanwhile, a poor girl named Maria Alvarez learns from her father that their farm has been forced to be given away. The angry heroine heads to Don Diego, a large landowner. The man is hosting Tyler and tells him about his daughter, Sarah Sandoval, who has been studying in Europe for almost 10 years and has finally returned to visit her home. Maria is not allowed to visit Don Diego, and she decides to climb over the fence with the help of her horse. The heroine runs into Sarah, and the girls have a heated conversation. Maria is caught by the guards, and she manages to realize that Don Diego is in cahoots with an American bank. After a while, Tyler visits her father, Pedro Alvarez, and informs him that he is taking the land for 1 peso for non-payment of debts. Angry at the injustice, the landowner tries to argue, but pays for it with his health. Sarah is visiting one of the farmers when Tyler's friends massacre him as well. A distraught girl rushes home, and there she sees that Don Diego has suffered the same fate. Sarah realizes that Tyler did it, but can do nothing and is forced to submit to him. In the meantime, Maria finds her father and the half-burned farmhouse. After leaving the room, Don Diego's daughter decides to escape from the guards and leave her home overrun by strangers. Sarah is forced to spend the night on the step with her horse and the farmer's dog. Maria brings her wounded father to church and sees that the same fate has befallen almost all the landowners in the neighborhood. The heroine realizes that the blame for everything is the American bank, for which the life and labor of ordinary people is of no value. The next day Sarah comes to the same conclusions, and decides to rob the bank, but there she is prevented by Maria, who decides to do the same. The girls start to argue, but the manager tells them that Tyler is approaching the bank. Maria and Sarah hide, and stealthily make their way outside with the money. The heroine is glad that they took the money, because it will help those who are left without land and shelter. However, Sarah does not share this, she robbed only for revenge. The girl wants to take half of the money and go back to Europe. But Maria opposes this, and a confrontation ensues between them. Sarah finds herself defeated and her rival decides to help her up, but falls into a trap. The battle is interrupted by a priest who offers to show the girls a secret place. Sarah and her companion find themselves in a shelter for Mexicans who have been made homeless by the bank, where everyone tries to share and help each other. There Maria sees her recovering father, and happily embraces him. Realizing the predicament the people are in, Sarah says they must figure out how to give the land back to the people. The girl suggests that they keep robbing banks. Mary immediately jumps up, but her accomplice stops her, as they need more training to do well, and not to rely on luck. The priest suggests they go to a robber named Billy Buck. The man saves the girls from Tyler's men, but refuses to help. When Billy tries to leave, Maria uses her horse to make the robber's horse want to go back. Sarah explains how much grief Tyler has caused people and how important it is for them to learn how to rob banks. Billy eventually agrees, and Maria and her accomplice begin slightly grueling training sessions. During one of the trials, Sarah rescues the heroine, who can't swim, and from that moment their friendship began. Training continues, and Billy decides that Sarah will be more suitable for knives, because the girl perfectly copes with this type of weapon. The girls' training ends, and the teacher says that the main thing is to trust their partner, and they have learned it perfectly, and the rest they did because he doesn't want to part with them. Meanwhile, Tyler invites criminalist Quentin Cook to help him catch the robbers. However, the first thing the detective does is to investigate the strange departure of Don Diego. To get more information, Quentin decides to go to the priest, in whose temple at that moment were Sarah and her accomplice. When the criminalist gives his address, the hiding girls decide that they are obliged to sneak in there to find out more about the passing of Sarah's father. However, a small problem arises. The portraits of the robbers are all over the city, and they can't just walk into the hotel. Sarah suggests that they dress up as local courtesans so that the locals will not suspect anything. When the girls enter his room, Quentin guesses who is in front of him and swears he won't say a word. Then Sarah ties him to the bed and calls the photographer. The girls promise that if Quentin doesn't help them, the pictures will be in all the newspapers. The man tells them that Don Diego was probably poisoned, because all the evidence points to that. Sarah then learns that Maria has never been with a man, or even kissed him, and decides to remedy this by taking advantage of Quentin. After a lesson to prove to the criminalist all of Tyler's injustice, the girls bring him to the bank, and show him the deeds to the land for 1 peso. Quentin examines the office and finds evidence that it was Tyler who killed Sarah's father and then made it look like an accident. Meanwhile, the manager reports that armed men are approaching the bank. Sarah and Maria think how to get out, and Quentin comes to their rescue. The hero offers to pretend that he is being held hostage. It works and the criminals leave. Tyler learns that his criminalist has been kidnapped, and at first he can't even believe what has happened. The angry man kills some of his subordinates, and remembering that there is not much time left, says that the robbers must be dealt with as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Mr. Ash informs Clarissa about Quentin's kidnapping, and the girl is horrified by it. On Tyler's orders, the homes of the locals are inspected even more frequently and thoroughly. Meanwhile, Quentin enlightens Maria about his gadgets, fingerprint powder, a microscope, and more. A frustrated Sarah returns from her foray and reports that Tyler has reinforcements and her wiles have run out. Quentin supports the girl and believes it's too soon to give up. The man says that he thinks Sarah and her partner's actions are honorable and wants to get involved and help bring justice. Quentin explains that they are looking for 2 women and decides to go to the bank with Maria, pretending to be newlyweds. While they distract the banker, Sarah sneaks onto the roof with her horse. However, the plan is foiled and shots are fired at the newlyweds. Maria tries to eliminate the opponents while Quentin opens the safe. When it succeeds, the heroes hide inside and set off an explosion in the building, after which Sarah pulls out her accomplices and the money with a rope. Tyler learns of the new robbery and decides to go to extreme measures to convince the governor that the bank is secure. A state-of-the-art alarm system reports any touch on the floor. When Quentin and Sarah find out about this, they almost decide to give up, but one of the workers brings them the key to the safe along with the security system card. During the night, the accomplices stun several guards with poison needles and sneak into the bank by rope. During Quentin's journey, Maria's horse, which was supposed to keep the rope parallel to the ground, decides to get to know the horse. This causes the man to hang literally a millimeter away from the guards, but Maria manages to get the animal back in place and Quentin makes it safely to the bank. Sarah decides that the only way to get to the safe is to skate along the seam between the slabs. To calm down, the girl kisses Quentin and goes on a dangerous journey. Meanwhile, Maria stuns 2 guards with needles for a joke. This is noticed by an unexpectedly changed guard, and the heroine decides to warn her partners. Meanwhile, Sarah decides to load up to the full, from which the journey back becomes even more dangerous. When one bill flies out, Quentin is horrified, because of this, the alarm system can go off. Luckily, however, everything turns out alright. But Sarah sneezes unexpectedly, causing the alarm to ring, and the criminals are caught red-handed. A joyful Tyler is about to massacre the robbers. The criminals are transported to the trial, and the girls again begin to quarrel and accuse each other. Quentin enters the dialogue. He says that because of their stupidity and rivalry not only ruined the career, but also could not help anyone. Suddenly shots are heard, and the carriage stops. The Mexicans decide to free those who risked their lives for them. Tyler reports the incident to the governor, and a spy gives the robbers the information the gold is about to be transported to Texas. Quentin thinks that this is the end, but Maria suggests just stealing the gold. Before this dangerous business, girls put candles in the church. Sarah admits that she admires the sincerity of Maria, and the latter in response says that the girl was a wonderful companion. On the train, the governor and Mr. Ash discuss the terms of depositing Mexican money in an American bank. Tyler informs the governor that he specifically disclosed the transportation information and is ready for the robbers' attack. After all, in Texas they will be able to deal with the robbers even without a trial. Sneaking up on the governor, Tyler pushes him off the train and tells him that the gold is now his. Meanwhile, Quentin appears, followed by Sarah and Maria. The heroes begin the robbery, and the first thing they do is unhitch the guard wagon, and the priest moves them to the next track. Tyler reveals that he actually just stole the gold. The man then threatens Mr. Ash, but is saved by the appearance of Maria and her accomplices. Clarissa recognizes Quentin, and Tyler takes advantage of this to take a shot. Sarah throws knives at her opponent, but the man still manages to escape, injuring the criminalist. Tyler unhooks the gold wagon, but Sarah and her partner manage to get inside. The man jumps on Sarah's horse, but Sarah orders her to stop and Tyler falls to the ground. The girls approach the man and wonder what to do with him. Sarah admits that she can't make the shot. However, when Maria is in danger, her partner does not hesitate. The girls return to the train, and they say that Quentin deserves the highest honors for his help to the people of Mexico. The heroes say goodbye, and Maria watches weepingly as Quentin kisses his bride. Back at the horses, the robber girls ponder what to do. The girls decide to go to Europe, for there are even more banks there. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.